It's a shame she said where I'm from, because I want you to find out from my accent. Yeah, I'm here representing the UK, but I'm not English. That says a lot about the UK, you know. Although with Brexit, I might become a non, welcoming person. Hopefully not. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Thanks to Julie and Cindy and Mary and everyone involved for bringing me over for such a short visit, long journey, but it's going to be all worth it. And thanks for this opportunity to ask me to come and talk about my practice, and hopefully it's going to be not too long. I'm going to show you some videos of stuff I've been doing. There's some pictures of projects, different projects we've been doing. So my name is Luca Silvestrini. I've been working and living in the UK since '95, and I have been running a company called Protein since '97, and we are a dance theatre company who produces work and tour professional work around the country and internationally. But the work we're doing, it's quite it's about the everyday. We talk about the everyday, sometimes important issues in a light-hearted way. And we like to think that our work is sort of human-centered. It's about looking at the human nature, human condition, and our societies. So the work is very connectable. You can connect, you can understand what it's about, and it talks to people. And I think this is the reason why we became very permeable and receptive to work with in community settings, is because of the type of work we're doing, what we believe. And so over the years we have expanded our interventions in different community settings. So this sort of natural instinctive development into this area has made our company distinctive, our work distinctive in the sense that we took participation at the very heart of what we do. So it really defines the way we are and what we do. And participation for us is not just an outreach program that we do to the side, but it's an important philosophy. It's like a thinking behind everything we do. So every collaborators, dancers and creative teams and producer, they work collaboratively with me. I tend to create a creative space that people can own as they come into a project. And these, of course, are the performers and then even the audience. We like to think they can take part into what we do. We sometimes interact with the audience. We ask them to do all sorts of different things. Our latest show is called May Contain Food, and we ask audience to taste food with us and smell food. And so we like to, the participation is about creating an active spectator, where the audience actually have a space to bring something unique, something of their own. So this is as much as participation can go for us. And over the years, I've been working with lots of different people, young people, mothers, parents and toddlers, and adults, teenagers, all sorts of elders. And we have a strand of work called Real Life, Real Dance, which looks at working with people at the fringe of society, and so those who sometimes they call it out of reach or difficult to reach, but actually they're people, you know where they are. They're not difficult to reach. You just need to engage with them. And so we have been working with young people excluded from mainstream school, with migrants and refugees. We have been working with hospitalized young children in hospitals, and so a very diverse group of people. And what these people, they all have their own needs and qualities, but what they have in common is that for them, dance and performance can bring a strong sense of an opportunity to grow as individuals and out of their situations, and also to grow as individual within a larger group or community. Dance, I think we all know, that's why we're here, to celebrate community dance in this couple of days. But dance can be a very transformative practice. It's certainly, sometimes it's not about changing life completely, we can't do that, but certainly can promote change. And I've seen this many times, and there is something quite unique about the way dance operates. And it brings a sense of discovery about who you are and your potentials, and a sense of ownership of who you are. And it allows sometimes a sense of reclaim of an opportunity you missed out in life, or opportunities that, you know, they're not for everyone. And it's sometimes in the areas I've been working in different communities, different groups, it's about becoming visible. I like to use this definition. It's about finding a voice through a project and to be heard, almost a platform to actually say, hello, I'm here and I exist. And dance is a very totalizing artistic and social practice, because it doesn't present from who you are, but and where you're coming from, where you're at in the moment. So it's not irrelevant where you're coming from, where you're feeling, who you are, and that's what dance celebrates. Dance is a very concrete thing. It's made of physicality, of weight, of matter, but somehow it connects you with the most intangible parts of yourself, and that's what happens in the moment that you connect with yourself through movement. We all know, sorry, I might not change anyone's opinion here, of course, because that's what we're here for, but the practice of dance facilitates interaction, communication, dialogue between people. It stimulates creativity and imagination. It provides an opportunity to share ideas and emotions through self-expression and physical contact. It promotes confidence, self-esteem, awareness, self-discovery, acceptance, and respect for the others. And it demands a skillful sense of participation and collaboration. Dance, in other words, celebrates the individual and his identity, and makes, the important thing that it does, it makes diversity within a group a source of enrichment. Sometimes in society, to be different, creates tension, or potentially is the sense create division. But actually in dance, the diversity, it's a positive thing. And I'm going to talk to you about three main areas of community dance I've been doing for many years, and they all have in common the fact that they're shifting boundaries and helps people to move on and promote understanding. I'll start with one. The first thing I want to show you something and talk about is an intergenerational project that we have been doing since 2005. We started to do it in the UK, but then we have exported it out in many places in Europe, and most recently to Japan. It's a residential project, usually a month or more, working with a large group of people from different generations. So the idea is to bring generation to talk to each other, to learn from each other, to connect, and to come together through dance. And the way it works, I tend to go I tend to visit the locality for probably a week to begin with, to do taster workshops with different groups, trying to really, sometimes meeting people, going to talk to them where they are and inviting them to join in. And so it's a very long, beautiful, but sometimes you have to be very generous with your time, because each one wants to know, but why do you want me to take part? And you have to explain, and you have to, at some point you need to say, well, trust me, it's going to be great, you know, come along. And that's why we're doing these taster workshops, to actually, they get a chance to see, to understand what it is, and they have a chance to meet them. And so we create, it's what we call it the recruitment side of the project. And also it allows me to go to a place, learn about the culture, learn about the place, how it works, the people, how they connect, and then the work come out of that interaction between me and that culture, that space, especially when it's so far away from me, like Japan. So at the end you have a massive performance, an hour, sometimes even more long performance in a theater with production values, with and usually these shows are opening a festival, or they're part of a season, and they are ticketed events. We're going to talk later a bit, you know, about the pressure of creating something with a community, with community participants, when you actually have to make a piece of work. But this is what I do. I'm a choreographer. That's what I think I'm most comfortable with. Anyway, I just want to show you a little bit of the work I did in Japan. And I want to show you this tiny little bit because the men you're going to see here quite a very rewarding journey we did with this group of men, but it was quite tough. That's what I want to show you, because they wanted to take part. None of them they dance in life. They do other things. They're fathers. They run their own businesses, and I introduced them to the idea of working on something that they do every year. It's a ritual. It's called Danjiri Festival. And they push the shrines along the village. And so it's a big ritual, it's a big moment of cohesiveness of the community, and they're really attached to it. So when I went to visit them, it was during the Danjiri Festival in October, and I thought, oh, this is brilliant, because it's already a performance, you know, so we can do a version, or we can create a dance inspired by something that you are really attached. It's a sort of rite of passage, because you got all the men doing different roles, playing different roles. So you got the babies, you got the young, and then the older people. And so we started to work on this idea through dance, and there were ups and downs. Sometimes they wanted to really be. There are questions. They were not quite sure. They were afraid to show something to the rest of the community that they might have, that people could take like the wrong idea of it, you know, almost if we were blasphemous about it. But it was an interesting process because we worked very closely. I asked them a suggestion. What do you think we should do? I'm not from here. You are from here. We were negotiating constantly, and eventually, and we were working with them always in the evenings, doing really late nights before drinking sake together and getting pissed at the end of the evening. But it was a really fantastic time, and they were so proud of this little dance we put together, which resonated with the audience because people could recognize where it came from. And they did beautifully. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that. Just a moment of technical time. Oh my God, I'm running out of battery. Dreadful. Julie, sorry, can you go into my rucksack? I thought it was, and it was 100%, but okay. It's an old computer. Okay. Here we go.
祭りは物心がつかない頃から参加していた。子供心にだんじりの上は怖くもあったが、父親が見ていてくれるのは心強かったし、いつもの父とは違って凛々しく感じることができた。高校生になると大人のだんじりに参加する。自分たちの仲間で連中を組み祭りに臨む。連中を組むということは秋祭りだけではなく、人生を共に歩むということ。仲間の冠婚葬祭は連中の役割となり、連中の絆は冠婚葬祭を通じて深まっていく。大学に進学するために高校を卒業して別の地域に移り住んだ。ある年の祭りが終わって自分たちの連中が嫉妬を受けることになった。いずれは城崎に帰るつもりだったから、嫉妬を受けるタイミングが何歳であろうと、それが自分の城崎に帰るタイミングだと決めていた。そして嫉妬として迎える秋祭り。嫉妬として自分のベストを尽くし、うまくいく年もあれば失敗を重ねる年もあった。それでも濃密な時間を共有し、世代の違う人たちと縁をつなぐことができた。 小さな町でも知り合わなければただの他人。秋祭りを通じて知り合いとなり、共通の行事を得て城崎の人々が一つの城崎になるのを感じることができたと思う。
So that was, of course, he was in the voiceover. It was a story about his father, this young man, explaining to him how the Danjiri festival worked, what they needed to do. So I wanted to kind of put that on stage with this little even younger man coming in, and he was teaching what we saw earlier. So it was a very empowering moment for them and for those who came to see it, to be able to play with your culture and communicate some to the rest. These sort of pieces, they have quite a lot of people on stage. Actually, Francesca is here. That we did one in Barcelona when she was working there, and there were 130 people on stage. And what you saw here was just two one moment, but there were also women involved. It wasn't just men. And so for me, my approach to when I work in community setting, it's not dissimilar to my approach, choreographic approach that I have when I work with professional dancers. And it's what I do. It's about bringing people around to go on a journey, on a creative journey, and with them. So there is no, and it's about bringing them with me. And of course, you have to be careful because some of the you have to be mindful that these people, they never performed on stage or they never created a piece of work, but it's not a diminishing point, it's actually an enriching point. So I think that treating them as professional dancers, it also means that they care about the project more and they understand what we are trying to do. And I think it influences the integrity of the project, and the more the project has the professional attitude, the better and the more the better is the quality of their experience, because they can see that you care a lot about it and you want the best. What I think, actually I was talking to someone earlier, what is sometimes people, they question, but how do you separate yourself from being a choreographer working with very talented, fully fledged, dancers? They train all their life, and then you go and work with people they never danced before, and why are you doing it, and what's the reason? And it's a very complex thing to explain, but I usually tend to say that actually it's a continuum for me, going from one piece of work and one contest into the other. And actually there are a lot of influences and contamination. I usually trying to bring into the community work the attention to details, the attention to the art form and the discipline that professional dancer have, and what I bring from the community work into when I work with my own dancers is actually the spontaneity that people in the community have, that sometimes a professional performer forgets that actually it's not everything through technique. So they're pre-technical, so they haven't, people in the community, they don't have any worries about what they do. They just react, they just respond spontaneously. So that sense of spontaneity and purity is something that I take into my practice when I work with technical dancers, because sometimes they forget they're human beings. You're not before being a trained dancer, you're actually a human being with feelings and emotions and all of that. So they're quite important. They talk to each other, these two words. They're one thing. And as you can see, I strongly believe in performance-led projects. I very rarely run a workshop, in the community without a sense of where I want to go with it. And I think, because I'm a choreographer, that's what I do. I make shows, and that's what I do also in community settings. But for me, so it doesn't matter whether we're going to be on stage or in a studio, but it's important to achieve something, to work towards an outcome. It doesn't need to be a big show. It could be a simple one, but it's important to have an aim, an artistic aim, and it's for me a sort of sharing this vision with them and having the potential to create, basically to go out in the outer community, because if you're creating a piece of work, then you have the ability to engage with another community, which is those who are not taking part. So I tend to describe as in a project we create a group of performers. That's the first community. We create a very tight group, and then in the moment of performance, we're going out and we create even a bigger community by sharing what we have done. So it's a sort of ritual. It becomes a big communion of people reaching out, because the sense of transformation. The fact that dance, taking part in a dance project can be very transformative, also can be transformative for an audience. And especially in some of the more challenging contexts I'm working with, somehow the performance allows those participants to be seen in a different light. So if a parent or a teacher come and see their child performing, they might have to reconsider what they think, what they always thought about that person, because they see that through the performance they have an opportunity to show other skills, and so it's also transformative for the audience. It's an important part. Although I really believe in performance, there are sometimes the making a show is not necessarily the case, and this is what happens during our project in hospitals with young people in hospital, and that's something we are experiencing now, working in home cares or with people affected by dementia. So I have to come up with ideas. How do I create? What is the outcome here? What can we create at the end that is tangible? So when we started working in a hospital, we have decided to actually turn the workshop, the dance workshop, the dance project into dance and film. So we go away with we edit a DVD that people can take away and watch and remember it. So they become dance and film projects. And in a hospital, in that setting, every single interaction is the show, is the thing. So you might engage with a child for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes, 1 minute, or 10 minutes, and that is per se a creative moment. And so the camera can capture that, and then we can go away and edit and making something out of it. And I've learned that in those contexts, the first thing you need to do, without having too much of an artistic, you can't have massive artistic ambition, because the first thing is to connect, to tune in with the child and see what you can do together. It's almost saying, okay, I'm coming to you, you don't have to come with me, I'm coming next to you, and see what together we can do. So they're very unpredictable places to work, because one day you might have a lot of children, one day you have fewer. You do quite a lot of one-to-one work with bedbound children. And I just want to show you a few excerpts of these projects. Technical moment. Actually, that's wrong. Okay. So this is the little intro of this project called Building Dancing we do in hospitals, and then I'll show you a little story of Jet, It's quite severe. It's not in a good place right now, actually, Jet. This is in a few years ago, but you will see from the video. Maybe we talk later. Okay.
Let's do it.
Go. 1.
Protein Dance was asked to come into Evelina Hospital and work on 2 children's wards. And use dance as a way of working with physios to collaborate in what they're doing with the children to get them rehabilitated after major surgery, and use dance to help inform their practice, and then for us to kind of take their practice and help us inform what we do as dancers to try and create workshops that will help that process. Go in, Jet. Look, he's coming for me. Get in.
We've never done anything like this, and he's 9 on Sunday, so we've never had anything like this at all. And he does get left out of quite a lot because obviously he can't do much. So the fact that it's all about him, really, it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The fact that he was made to feel complete part of the group, or the star of the show.
Yeah. Right, we're gonna have a big entrance. Me and you, we're gonna take PJ on, yeah? The music starts, we're gonna walk into the middle, you. Yeah, and then PJ's gonna walk that way around and we're gonna follow him round. Keep going. Keep going. Don't take your eyes off him, stare him out, make him scared. And the choke slam him. Alright? Yeah? I'll come over here and go like that. Give it. So right over the top of you like that. Actually, while his head's down there, look. So we'll go. Keep your head quite low there, and then when we turn round, you can kick him. Boom. Oh, you got him, Jeff. So you're helping me out there. You come forward, go down, pulls me back up. Boosh. Oh no. Boosh. And then you kick him up to the wall. Kick him into the wall, and then his head's low down, and we go whack, kick him. Is he one of your favourites, John Cena? Is he one of your favourites? And all that bit we can do slow motion, actually. I hope the sun comes out tomorrow, Jet, so we can do this outside, yeah? Alright, He's been selling a lot of tickets yesterday.
He hasn't got much movement in his body, and I felt that he was really making an effort to do that with encouragement from you guys. Just for like the group dancing, the jumping, he was pushing his feet up, the kicking and the wrestling dancing, he was kicking. That was the best thing, was the wrestling dancing, obviously, because that was for him.
That's all we're going to learn for today, so we'll keep adding to it, so we've got our own little routine, and then we'll perform it. You think so, Jet? Is that good? That's it!
And then
we'll take you down, punk.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. A franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic. I win this, so you hear those horns, you finish. A soldier, and I stay under you fighting. Plus I'm storming on them chumps like I'm thunder and lightning. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid. I'm harder than nails, plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. Slaughtering stale competition. I got the whole block wishing they could run with my division, but they gone fishing with no bait. Kid your boy, hold weight. I got my soul straight. I brush your mouth like Colgate. In any weather, I'm never better. Your boy's so hot, you never catch me in the next man's sweater. If they hate, let them hate. I drop your whole plan. Lay your ass down for the 3-second tan. Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now.
It's gon' be what it's gon' be. 5 pounds of courage, bloody base, 10 pants with a gold tee. It's a war dance, a victory step. A raw stance is a gift, and you insist it's my rep. John Cena trademark, y'all are so-so. And talk about the bread you make, but don't know the recipe for dodo. Aiming guns in all your photos, that's a no-no. In this pocket, lip lock, the big talks, a blatant no-so. See what happens when the ice age melts. The scene, every status is not what matters, but it helps. Provoke a timepiece by Benny and Eddie. The same reason y'all condemn me.
Okay. So that's just, we basically made a 360-degree wrestling around him, and he was so happy when he got the DVD to play back at home. Because when we went to visit him the first time, he basically spent, he was in bed all day watching, you know, flat in bed watching wrestling matches. See how many. So we thought, what can we do to make, you know, to create something out of wrestling that he can make something, you know, for him. Okay, and so I bring towards the end, and I got another little bit of video to show you, but basically. Even this little film that we made, creating, you know, a script and then taking him out, it's about what outcome we can reach with these people, and be very flexible. So coming up with ideas that they're possible to make, and of course I'm very aware I'm working in areas of socially relevant areas, and sometimes I question about the good balance between process and product, which I think every artist working in community setting, they do come across that issue, and I think we don't want certainly to undermine artistic vision or what we believe in. At the same time, we are fully aware that the experience of bringing people into a community project, it's paramount, you know, it's the first thing. But for me, there is a very healthy relationship between the two things, and without compromising the other. I think you can have only a very good product if you have a good process towards it, but also it's vice versa. You can't have a good process without something to aim for. And so I keep these two things very much in mind. And I know there are some people out there that might consider what we do in community setting not necessarily art. I think actually we can produce very relevant work that people can actually come and see it, not just a group of friends. And so you can make important, relevant sound art even with non-trained bodies and dancers. And I think there is a social benefit for many. And it's important to make the message very clear. We're not counselors, we're not social workers, we're not therapists, we are artists, and the practice of the art, it does itself is therapeutic, we all know. if we start moving, and it could be therapeutic, but we're not doing it from a point of view of a therapist, because we don't have that kind of training. So, but I think if you have an integrity about what you do, you reach certain places, and you reach a sense of well-being, total well-being for the people taking part. And the last bit of video, I hope I'm not running out of time. Is that too late? Is that too late? Okay. Too late, I have to stop. It's the third part of the community works I want to show you is the work we do with young people excluded from mainstream school. In the UK, if you have pushed it too far at school, you get excluded from main education, and you go to a separate school. They call it pupil referral units, and which I have a bit of an issue with that. They're quite extreme. You need to make something quite bad to be excluded. But I have an issue with that sort of idea, because I don't think by putting all the bodies together is going to change anything. So with these projects we're doing with them, we're doing a 3-week project, performance-led project. So they come into a professional space every day. They're taken out of school and towards the making of a piece. And it's very intensive, but basically what gives them is the chance to reconsider what they've done, and they've been rejected, so they call themselves, we are rejects, and they've been told that you can't achieve anything in life, you're gonna have problems as an adult because you can't achieve like everyone else. And what we're trying to do with the project to tell them, actually, you can achieve. You have the same qualities as everyone else. You basically learn and you achieve differently, but you can achieve goals in life. So during this project, that's why we also stick very much. We're very clear that it has to have a performance at the end, because that's what we can prove. You can achieve it in 3 weeks. You can put a show together. And by getting to the end, that's where they realize, actually, they feel very proud because they made something. Okay, I'll show you a couple of, it's a long documentary, this one, but I'm going to show you a couple of bits of it. This is not from the very beginning of the journey. This is halfway through. And then I'm going to show you the ending.
On all levels.
The thing is, as well, is that you can't predict when the slumps are going to happen. They just come.
It's lost the novelty factor. Your body is hurting, you're tired, and the thought of being in bed is far more appealing.
And I think we need to just support each other, just look after each other. When somebody goes wrong, it doesn't matter, really doesn't matter. We're a company, we'll work, we'll get there together.
As well, we've been talking a lot about focus, not because we need you to turn into this dancer, but when you go away from here and someone says, here's a problem, can you look at it, and that you can focus on it and go, yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, we're rejects. I ain't a reject, boy.
We were kicked out of school. That's how it's always been referred to, we've been kicked out of school. So technically, when you think about it, we are the rejects of mainstream school. I'm not saying we should act like rejected people, but we should use this opportunity and this filming thing to show people, that you don't have to be in mainstream school to be able to focus and be committed at something. I have intelligence, and for some reason, I managed to get kicked out of school. What a shame, but I have to make the most of it now. I flipping hate the pavilion, but I still go there because no matter what, we go to school for 13 years just to do our GCSEs. Why ruin it now? Just do the project, learn something out of it.
Do you know what? I think we should stand up and do some work.
Go on, trust him. Well, I know.
Stretch over, 5, good, reach, 6, 7.
He's created this little shell, that is impregnable unless you get him to look in another direction and zoom in there really quick. We feel that there's a little gap growing between you and the rest of the group in terms of involvement. Do you know what I mean by that? And what we're doing at the moment is we're having to pull you off the floor, having to pull you into the space. We're having to keep telling you. Yesterday, how many times did I tell you to get up and come into the space? Come into the space, and I'll tell you what to do. You've got to try it. Get in, come in here, and I'll tell you. Come away from the warm. Right. Do you know what? It is rubbish, though, if you don't put any energy into it, if you don't try it. Start again. Start again. Boys, stick with it, man. It's just an idea. You've got to stick with it. What we need to see is we need to see you care about this. Yeah? Why would you be here if you don't want to do it, Dean? Do you know what I mean? Don't keep fighting us, okay? All I want to do is give you information so that when you come to perform at the end of next week, you will be so proud of what you've achieved. Your family, your friends will look at it and go, that's amazing. I didn't even realise you could do that. You can't really get on at him. You've almost got to get on with him. Do you know what I mean? You've almost got to, you know, guide him through a process, and he does. You can sucker him into doing stuff. You almost have to convince him that he's doing something else in order to get him to create something that's quite beautiful, quite amazing, quite moving.
So now we start bringing voice and words into the work. Now point your finger as you say your lines and stay still, facing us. Go.
Get to the head!
You've got legs, use them. Stop swearing.
Don't make nasty.
Don't say nothing at all.
These boys don't even have brains. What are they using to think with? It can't be in here. I hate children.
This is about your imagination, okay? Are you ready?
You make me stay when I should not. Are you so strong, or is the weakness in me? Why do you come here and pretend to be just passing by when I need to see you and I need to hold you tightly? Yeah.
Good. Well done. Much better.
I think it's quite fun actually, but like, I didn't like, I've never done dance before, yeah. And
Hi, is he married? They're all worried.
And good.
Hey. I can't wait, I'm all excited. Right.
When I was in about year 9 and I got suspended, I had an internal exclusion, and I was in the LSU, the Learning Support Unit, and this teacher that I'd never ever met before, I didn't even know her name, she sat there and she looked at me and she goes, "You're Shanique, innit?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, you know you're never gonna amount to anything, and you're gonna fail at everything you do, and you're gonna go to college and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna get a job and you're gonna get fired." And she went on and on for about 5 minutes, yeah.
My
And I was really
science
sad,
teacher.
and I went to my
science
LSU,
teacher in my old
and
school.
I told her what she said, and she didn't do anything about it.
All the time, he
And
didn't
then
treat
a
me
little
as
bit
the
later,
honest
I got
students.
excluded.
All the time, I did a little thing.
And
He
then I
make
started
sure
doing
I get in trouble
And
for
then I
a
started
single
doing
night. Yeah, just got chest, like, periods. Why do girls have periods? Why can't boys have periods? Where do babies come from? Oh, man.
For the inhabitants of British cities, it is the beginning of the nightmare of the Blitz.
Quick, quick, quick! Go, go, go!
Today, the Dutch Carolina scattered over many continents. The enemy aircraft reported over currents on the south coast, to the west coast, north coast, and the northwest. There are reports of 7 stars on
Listen, well done. I'm so impressed. That's fantastic.
Good work. Very good.
We'll do another one. Same thing.
Brilliant.
Well done. Because I know these kids in class and at school.
Stop it there because it's a bit too long. But basically, so of course the piece was about school. It felt really relevant for them. They were excluded to make a piece, actually. Some of the students, we've done this project many times, and some of the feedback, when we asked them at the end on the evaluation form, has anything changed for you during this project? Their replies are, I feel it has calmed me down a bit. I'm calmer. I have a better temper. I've lost a bit of weight. I would like to go back dancing. I'm more confident. I'm fitter, more patient with people. I get on better with the others. I was new to the school, so now I have made good friendships. We'll give anything a go. Don't judge a book by its cover. One person reaction. Also, they say, I feel more responsible. I feel better about myself because I managed to do it. It has changed the way I think about things. I'm more confident, and so on. But also the teachers, when we ask the teachers, about what they learn about this project, if anything, their reply is, one of the replies, it made me see dance in a different light as a far greater means of communication, language, that I had previously appreciated. I had always thought of dance as a fantastic discipline and means of artistic expression, but had not realized fully the power of dance to communicate not just visually, but through the experience of performing, rehearsing, developing relationship. It was fantastic for us and the students. Other teachers said that perhaps our expectations at the center are a bit too low. We have not tried performance previously because we have probably been scared of failure. Now I'm hearing teachers say, we can do it again, and pupils as well. So fantastic reaction to this for both teachers and the students about the power of these projects. And I just want to conclude with a quote from Sir Ken Robinson. I don't know if probably most of you know. He's someone that has been going on for years about that that education is based on maths and academic stuff, and actually it's about bringing more creativity in the way we bring up our young people, and it's a very strong what do you call it, supporter of dance actually. And he says in one of his books, he says, human resources are like natural resources. They are often buried deep. You have to go looking for them. They're not just lying around on the surface. You have to create the circumstances where they show themselves. So, and I think that's what we do with community dance. We create the circumstances for human resourcing to emerge. Thank you. And have a great day. Question time.
I'm going to give you the mic because wonderful Brian is recording this. So okay.
Thank you. You just validated everything I've always believed in, so thank you. I'm curious with this work, what we just witnessed, do you know what the follow-up is? Do they actually follow up, the teachers in those schools, and is there funding? How is this funded?
Yeah, this is funded by, actually, this one was funded by the Gulbenkian Foundation. Actually, we got the funding to create a project to become a film, because this film has been going around for years now, to create a case for more work. And the problem of the legacy of a project of this kind is very important, but we are a touring company, so we move on from place to place. We bring something. What we make sure that the hosting organization, in this case was Arts Depot in London, and the school, they remain in touch to create more opportunities for these young people, because we can't. We don't have the funding and we don't have the capacity of looking after them beyond the project. We stay in touch. Shonique, the girl there, she came to do a show with us at the South Bank on Queen Elizabeth Hall. And so when it's possible, we offer them opportunities. But it's important that the benefits, everything achieved during this project, then they know how to channel them and to continue. But I think it's mainly for the funders and the school and the hosting organization as well, that they have to create more opportunities. Yeah, it does happen, but you need to monitor that. You can't just take for granted that they're going to do it. Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Thank you again. I was wondering, with it over the period of time that you've been doing this, have you seen a lot of change in the practice of community-based dance, perhaps within England or perhaps beyond? Have you seen a change over the, let's say, the past 15 or 20 years?
Yes, I think there is more work happening. There are more initiatives happening, and I mean, I'm talking about the UK, where I'm based. I mean, sometimes you have to just go through the magazine, the People Dancing magazine. It was Foundation for Community Dance that they changed their name into People Dancing, and they create a magazine every is a quarterly, I think. But if you go through the magazine, you actually realize how many projects, how many fantastic community dance projects there are around. Is that what is difficult? I was mentioning today during the workshop, sometimes we don't have awareness of what's happening. There is no platform to share this work. That's why symposiums like this is very important, because I think it's through talking about it, showing it. That's also why we invest money in making documentaries, filming everything, because that's the evidence. that you can create more opportunities. And I think in the UK there is a very strong understanding of the importance, the relevance of this, but also for the dance ecology, not just, you know. So I think there is a lot of investment, both financially and with resources around the country. I wish there could be more of a. I don't think lots of people in the dance world are not aware of what's happening. They just live in their own bubble, and I think it would be great to try to be a bit more loud about it. Yeah. And also, one thing, we are very lucky because we are a funded organization, but there are also people that they spend all their lives doing projects with hardly any money, and just because they believe in it. And I think, yeah, it's tough, but they do it out of passion.
You spoke about working with people intergenerationally, and you spoke about working with people with dementia. And I'm wondering what your discoveries are there, working with people with cognitive impairment in dance.
Yeah, I think for me, especially working with some of these young people, the work with dementia we just started, so I don't have much I can offer to say. But working with those almost paralyzed children in a hospital, some very severe cases. What do I learn? I learned that dance can be so many different things, you know, and it's about connecting yourself, parts of yourself. So even if you move very, your capacity of movement is very restricted, it doesn't mean that you can't dance, that you can't articulate movement in yourself. And sometimes you see just from expressions, the movement of the eyes or something very minimal. And it's about being able to capture that little change or that little response without expecting too much, but really enjoy and celebrating that moment, that fraction of response that you can get from someone that is very restricted. Also, another thing is about the people, how you can change the people around a person that is not is unwell. You know, could be a parent or a staff member. They can take part also, and they can see illness and in a different way without just see it as a negative thing, but they almost are seeing a different aspect. I'm not saying it's positive, but what can, if you know your child has got life expectancy of short life expectancy, so how you spend, these people, sometimes they spend months or years in hospital because that's the only place they can be. So their life is completely, upside down because of that. So how can you at least find that moment where you can just accept and embrace reality and make something special out of it? Do you see what I mean? So it's a very good life lesson somehow, because that's what, at the end of the day, also I learned quite a lot about what life is during these projects. You know, I don't know if I answered your question. Have I answered? No. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. 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 It doesn't have to be a question. You can also say something, you know, whether it could be a comment.
I thought it was great that when you're doing interactions with children and engaging their imagination and creating a whole world for them and just like it would be really nice to like you're doing, showing people so they can take it to other children as well, and also like create that kind of thing for other kids that maybe might not see you. So I thought that was great.
Could you comment on any ways that you see this work has the potential to kind of scale out from individual change to collective change in community or whatever collectivity you've seen this go to work in, beyond what you as an individual choreographer can do with a group?
That's a great question.
Whether I see this potentially happening, so it's not just a choreographer or company, but just a collective of, well, I can say it would be lovely. I don't know how to make that happen, but I think hopefully that's, and I think probably there are things happening. There are also, for instance, there are companies that just devoted all their time to do this sort of work. We have a company in England called Dance United, and now it became Dance United Yorkshire. That's all the work they deliver. They just work with people at risk of, under threat because they might. I don't know what to say. It's a very strong point. I need to go away and think about it. But I think it would be lovely if it's not just coming from one person, but becomes almost like a movement. Embraced by. I mean, I guess it's about convincing funders and people who can make this happen that it's very relevant. And it's still an artistic, you have an artistic goal and it's art, it's a piece, because people come in to see some of our shows and they go away thinking about things they enjoy, they have a good time, but also they're going away thinking, not just about the participants who talk about it, but actually the content of the piece. So which means that's what theatre, that's what dance is, that's what art is, you know, if you're triggered by something. So that's why I think there is a valid point that this is not just for family and friends, but actually it should be ticketed events for people to come and, over there.
Hi, thank you for sharing. I've done some similar works in Africa. My question is, you use the term protein. What's the origin of the name protein? And the second is, you had a lot of pictures about multi-racial, multi-ethnic group. Does it reflect the achievements of multiculturalism, or is it challenging your Conservative Party?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think it's London. It's the UK and London. It's a multicultural city, so you can't. It's not because we want to. But also, we did start also doing projects. The same project we do with these young people, the 3-week format. We now do it for refugees and migrants, working with organizations. So it's not just a tick boxing thing, you know, it's the reality of living in a multicultural city. And about protein, in 97 when we started as a duo, and we needed a name for a company, and we didn't know what to call ourselves. And we wanted to work around the idea of transformation and looking at taking the extraordinary out of the ordinary, blah, blah, blah. And so we went to search for a word, a name, and we came across a word called protein from the god Proteus, which means transformable, changeable. But then we thought that the Protean dance company was going to be a little bit for a few people. Not many knew what that. It's not such a common term, but it sounded like protein, and protein is about energy, it's about light, it's about movement, it's about color. And then we said, oh, it's just a name. Just let's put down protein. We didn't even know where we were going to survive for so many years. So it was just for that moment. And then it remained like any name, like the name we are given at birth, you know, whether you like it or not, you stick to it and it becomes you. That's where it comes from. It's by default, basically. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.